from our studios in Hastings and Grand Island, NBC Nebraska News at 5 starts now.
Meet the first baby born in Grand Island in 2015. Why his parents say his January 1st birthday is so special. Nebraska saw a rare increase in homicides last year. A look back at some of the year's biggest crime stories. And a big reward is offered for anyone with information on 3 dead dogs found in Hastings. That's your top story on NBC Nebraska News at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Natalie Wood.
And I'm Tim Jones. We'll get to all those stories in a moment. First, of course, the weather. Kind of the calm before the storm today, Natalie. And by the way, welcome back. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Belated, of course.
Same to you.
Been gone
Thank
for
you.
a while. Hope you had a nice time off.
I did, but it's always good to get back.
And we're happy
I was
to have you
hoping
back,
for
of
warmer
course.
weather, but it's not quite the case.
This is the warmer weather.
Yeah, right?
Just wait till you see the 7-day. In the meantime, we have to talk about a couple impacts in the first day of the weekend. Well, the second day around here, because Saturday is always the second day. But in the meantime, we do have a winter weather advisory. The county shaded in purple there. Does not include anywhere in the Tri-Cities, but to our north and west. You can see, well, the winter weather advisory will go into effect Saturday at noon until Sunday at noon. Main threats out of this, strong winds and some blowing snow. Although snow is not the main impact out of this, we don't expect a significant amount of snow. Generally around the entire state, a wide swath of 1 to 2 inches. But you can see the current readings just hovering right around the freezing mark. Of course, Natalie, it's much warmer than what we had a few days ago, but don't get used to it because much cooler temperatures are forthcoming. In the meantime, let's take a look at that forecast for tonight. We'll look a lot like last night. We'll see those overnight lows in the low to mid-teens. Winds will be on the light side, but tomorrow, the winds are really going to kick up, especially in the afternoon. We'll see snow spreading in, probably in the latter part of the afternoon and the evening, and then much colder temperatures back in the picture to end the weekend into next week. And we'll break it all down coming up, Natalie, in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll hear all about that soon. Thanks, Tim.
You bet.
Well, it's been one of our most talked about stories here at NBC Nebraska. 3 dogs were killed after getting hit by a train the Monday before Christmas. NBC Nebraska's Kim Kung investigates why local officials say the community should be concerned. All right, some technical difficulties there. Sorry about that, and we'll try to bring you more on that story in just a little bit. But in the meantime, Hastings police are looking for a man that approached a Sonic employee last night and demanded the night deposit bag. An 18-year-old Sonic employee tells police he was making the deposit around 10:40 p.m. when a man dressed all in black and wearing a ski mask approached the victim and told him to hand over the deposit bag. The victim believes the man had a gun in his coat pocket. The robber left with the deposit bag. Hastings police say their investigation team is working on this case. Well, crime changed so many lives in 2014, from homicides to a little boy's fight for his life. Many will be missed while others are thankful to be alive. New tonight, Joe McHale takes a look back at some of the year's biggest crime stories in the heartland.
2014 saw a rare increase in homicides, starting with the stabbing death of Jarvis Long at Peter Pan Park. His friends say the area was dangerously dark, and months after Long's death, the city installed new lights. In the Panhandle, Wyoming teen Dylan Cardiac strangled guard Amanda Baker to death. Cardiac was sentenced to at least 20 years in prison for second-degree murder. In April, police arrested Cassius Haynes after Nathaniel Morton was found dead over a game of dice. Nico Jenkins was convicted of 4 counts of first-degree murder. Jenkins was released from prison last year, then went on a killing spree, shooting 4 people in Omaha in 10 days. One of 2014's most horrific crimes happened when Bettina Birkland was maliciously slain.
And we will miss her every day, and we won't ever forget her spirit, and her spirit lives on in all of us, and I hope she knows that.
Her husband, Kent Birkland, was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, but in August, a judge found him not competent to stand trial. Danny Tucker is charged with first-degree murder after police found Earl Richardson III dead at his home in June. In August, Biapal Ngala allegedly stabbed his son-in-law to death at a family birthday party.
I have a bomb, body drill, you hear me?
In a nightmare situation in Nebraska City, a dangerous fugitive known as the AK-47 Bandit robbed this bank at gunpoint. He's still on the loose. In September, 21-year-old Maurice Williams was shot and killed in his home. The alleged shooter, Joshua Newtonboom Carr has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. 2 others involved were also arrested.
Dominic Small, he took on a 6,500-pound truck at 50 miles per hour. He flew 65 feet from the intersection.
In an emotional interview, the parents of 11-year-old Dom Walker spoke. Their son barely escaped death in October after a drunk driver hit the boy on his way to school. Jared St. Louis is charged with DUI and leaving the scene of an injury accident. As for Dom, he went from barely being able to open his eyes to going home in less than 2 months. Lastly,
give us a call anything, call the police.
A cry that was never answered when Lincoln police found Kelsey Miller, mother of 3, dead in a storage unit in December. Her husband, Kevin Miller, is charged with second-degree murder, the 7th homicide of 2014.
That's Joe McHale reporting. Thanks so much, Joe. Well, Nebraska lawmakers have passed bills banning chemicals and synthetic drugs like K2, but manufacturers still find a way to go around the rules. As a result, the drug remains deadly and present in our communities. Callie Smith of Bellevue says she lost her 18-year-old son Tyler to K2 in 2012. Since then, she has made it her mission to educate the community on K2 and its effects. Just a day after Tyler's passing, Smith founded the TJS Purple Project in his honor. She travels the state speaking to both children and adults. Smith also works closely with lawmakers to put K2 use to an end. Attorney General John Bruning says although laws are in place banning chemicals in K2, manufacturers continue to go around the rules.
It's a significant problem. I mean, in my 12 years as AG, we've had methamphetamine, certainly we've had cocaine, we've had a number of issues with drugs. But K2 is particularly insidious because kids think it's safe. They think it's marijuana, that they're just going to be a very mellow high when they use it. The problem is that's not the case.
Smith is now calling on lawmakers to propose new bills in 2015, including one that would raise the punishment for possession to a felony rather than a misdemeanor. The other would raise the age when a person could legally buy paraphernalia like a pipe from 18 to 21. Bruning says the new bills regarding K2 should be presented this month as the legislature returns next Wednesday. We'll have this full special report tonight at 6. Well, ringing in the new year is always exciting, but it's even more so if a bundle of joy comes along with it. In Grand Island at CHI Health St. Francis, new parents Renee and Gary weren't expecting their son Jacob to make his entrance into the world for another 14 days, but they found themselves rushing to the hospital on New Year's Eve. Jacob was born at 12:25 p.m. on January 1st and weighs exactly 7 pounds.
I was just hoping we were going to get here on time. My contractions were 2 minutes apart, and we live almost 3 hours away. So it's been easier than I thought. He sleeps a lot.
Jacob has the same middle name as his grandfather, Edwin, and they share the same birthday. His grandfather was also born on January 1st. Well, good news for the Archway. 2014 brought the most attendance since 2011. More than 50,000 people visited the attraction last year, a 1% increase over 2013, despite a 2-month closure. The news is welcome after the Archway declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2013. The attraction got back on track with the help from the city and the county. In August of 2013, the opening of an Interstate 80 exit leading directly to the Archway may have also helped boost attendance numbers. Well, still ahead on NBC Nebraska, Tim has your full weekend forecast. Plus, the search continues in Indonesia for more bodies of victims of the AirAsia crash. How weather is hindering the search. That's next.